Hello, this is Darren DePaul, the voice of Emperor Valkorion, and you're watching another video by Vulkk.
Greetings, I'm Vulkk, and with this short clip split in two phases or two parts, I would like to show, and to those of you who were around some 3 to 5 years ago, remind you how magnificent and how good the BioWare storytelling was and the BioWare story complexity was, not just for Star Wars The Old Republic, but this is the example that I will use. And I don't mean this video to refer to the issues that people tell about Mass Effect Andromeda, the current new game from BioWare. Earlier today, I did a live stream with this guy, my bounty hunter. We did the second part of Belsavis. The story of the bounty hunter on Belsavis involves the release of the Dreadmasters. This is exactly the first part of the clip that you're going to see, the story without background music, but that's a small issue, I hope. The story of how exactly the Dreadmasters were released, who did this, why, and what happens after that. The Dreadmaster story arc spread for about 2.5 years across several content updates and expansions for Star Wars The Old Republic. And I personally loved all of it from the beginning until the end and how everything was connected. In the second part of the video, you're going to see me somewhat passionately, maybe not depending on your point of view. You will see me explain my point of view on the Dreadmaster story arc, how the game has developed after that, why I loved the Dreadmasters, and how the original BioWare crew who worked on that game prior to release in December 2011, how they implemented all of these little things from very early processing up to much later patches, updates, and expansions. All of this was planned ahead, or at least it seemed like it was planned ahead, and it worked just absolutely perfectly smoothly. Enjoy the clip, and of course, after that, let me know what did you think about my thoughts and overall about the story of the Dreadmasters down in the comment section of the video.
You dare seek control over the Dreadmasters?
Madziła storiest, dzitke lamst, mietke inti.
Fear.
Jarkat, kiennet rebiat.
None can contain us, not this prison, not the Republic, and certainly not these creatures. You'd still be the Eshka's playthings if not for me. Fear. We are the Dreadmasters. Show your respect. I thought you were supposed to be scary. I'm barely breaking a sweat. Lovely. Enough. Releasing us from the Eshka's grip warrants some degree of mercy.
Blasters ready, men! Down the imps and capture the Dread!
More guests. Splendid.
That lump in your throat, it's panic. Think on what will happen next. Show the Republic the true meaning of terror. First, the pupils dilate, muscles tighten, hysteria replaces rationality, and then... the mind shatters. see why the Empire fought so hard to free you. Commander Callum, the Dreadmasters are ready for extraction.
Incredible work. Consider your contract fulfilled, Hunter. I am Commander Callum, my lords. It's my honor to ensure your safe passage off Belsavis. An evacuation team awaits you in minimum security.
Good. We'll strike out at once. But first, we terrorize the Eshkar. You have served the Empire well, mercenary. We are truly impressed.
The Dreadmasters aren't known for their compliments, but I agree with their assessment. All that remains is your debriefing. I will await your company aboard the space station. Commander Callum, out.
Okay, two quick things I have to apologize. First, for having to watch me during the cutscene because I forgot to turn the camera off. And second, for not being able to answer you guys from the chat for a couple of minutes. I want to focus on this scene and I want to talk about the genius team that worked on Star Wars The Old Republic prior to the release of the game. Most of these guys left or were forced to leave for whatever reason several years ago when the EA decided to scrap half of the team working on the game. This is the bounty hunter story on Belsavis, and if you've played the game or seen at least some content about it, you know that more than 2 years the Dreadmasters were a big part of the Star Wars The Old Republic story. They were the huge enemy that we were discovering and fighting against. And here, in a small level, I don't know, 40-something quest, we actually see how we free them up, we learn about their origins. Yes, I think Trio mentioned here in the chat, they used to have different helmets, less detail, less of those spiky things on top of their heads, but the design of the Dreadmasters overall was the same, the voiceover is the same, they look awesome, they sound awesome. For 2017, the texture and the detail on their dressing is a little bit silly, especially now that I've played Mass Effect Andromeda and I see every single texture in such a high quality. But let's not throw away. I love how everything was bound together and how little clues were leading us for what's coming next. None of us, when playing this story or this planet or this class or anything while leveling, none of us had the idea of how things would turn up later. When we met Kefes, I had to mention Kefes, come on, he's the greatest character of the whole Star Wars The Old Republic game. When we met Kefes for the very first time, we had absolutely no idea that he will become the absolute fan favorite. Well, who doesn't love Kefes? Come on now. I was really having much higher hopes for Malgus, for example, simply because I own the collector's edition and the metal statue is still sitting right there behind me. I absolutely loved Malgus and the idea of having him as the new villain or emperor, or at least some kind of a big-time leader. Back on the Dreadmasters, there were 5. Their story spread throughout several operations, flashpoints, high dock, mini story arcs, and all of this starts here from a small, what looks like a not very important class quest in the middle of the leveling process on Belsavis. Damn, BioWare, we need more things like this connected. We need these things to come back to the game. I personally could live without a new operation. I've made my peace. I will probably not even bother with the hard mode and nightmare mode of the new operation. I don't know if I should be calling it an operation. It will not be such, at least until October, November, December, until we got all of it put together and released finally. I would be definitely willing to sacrifice yet another year for no content, for no group content, if BioWare brings back the class quests. I know that this is supposed to be an MMO. I loved Star Wars The Old Republic as an MMO for so many years. But for one reason or another, in the past few years, I've actually kind of started changing my mind in terms that I value the story of the Old Republic more, even though it's not canon, even though we don't see it anywhere else, nobody talks about it outside of our Star Wars The Old Republic community. I love reading these things, I love enjoying the story and the setting I'm a huge fan of the Old Republic, and whenever Netflix finally decides to bring that damn animated or something else, maybe not animated, maybe live action TV series, I will be the first person to subscribe to the damn network again, despite the fact that it's ridiculously poor library in Bulgaria and very expensive, high price. I will be the first one to support to watch the damn Old Republic show. So that's what I wanted to say. I will probably upload this small portion of my talking to myself segment because I want more people to see the cutscene with releasing the Dreadmasters, and I want some of you, hopefully, to reach the second part of this video. Light side is winning. So I can hear your opinion, guys. Here in the live chat, please let me know what you think of the Dreadmaster story. How many of you were around during the development of the Dreadmaster story in front of us with each one of the updates? It all starts here, goes through more or less SWTOR, because SWTOR in one form or another is related to Belsavis. Then we go with Kefes, we go through the real fights with the Dreadmasters in Scum and Villainy, and after that with the Dread Fortress and the Dread Palace. This was a truly amazing story arc that developed in, I said a moment ago, over 2 years, but I'm not really sure. Is it 2 years? It feels more like 2.5 years. Let's see. Dread Fortress and Dread Palace were released in the autumn of 2013, I believe. So, 2.5 years. Okay. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Click the like button and help me out. Visit my website vulkk.com for daily videos and news. To help me improve and expand, consider becoming my patron with a small monthly pledge. And stay in touch by following me on Facebook and Twitter.